What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's October 12th. Had quite the weekend of sports. We just got the news today that Joe Morgan has passed away. I think that's like the fifth legend to have passed away this year alone. LeBron James wins his fourth NBA finals,
Let's go.
third with a different team. Yankees got eliminated, Padres got eliminated.
You just had to threw it in there like as if it's just another thing that happened.
Well, actually, no. Why don't we start there, Manny? Why don't we start with what we predicted was going to happen in the playoffs versus what actually happened? So
Okay.
Let's start with the Rays and Yankees. I believe
I picked the Yankees.
and I picked the.
You picked the Rays.
All right. So let's just confirm it real quick. Let's just throw it out there right now. I won me.
You were right. Yeah, I got you. All right.
All right, cool.
Scorecard, real quick. From our predictions, you were 5-3 before the DSs, and I was 4-4 before the DSs. After the DSs, you are now 8-4, and I'm 5-7.
Damn.
You want to like gloat a little bit for a little while before we
Nope.
before we talk shop, or
Don't want to gloat. That's not my style.
okay, all right. No, not at all. That's not your style at all. Okay. You picked the Rays over the Yankees. The Yankees lost the series. I have some things I want to say about that.
So do I.
We both picked the Oakland A's over Houston. Houston has upset us both.
Yes.
We both picked the Dodgers over the Padres. We were both correct. And I picked Miami. You picked Atlanta, I believe. I didn't write that one down, but I'm pretty sure you picked Atlanta.
I picked Atlanta, yeah.
And you were correct.
Yeah. Atlanta backed me up on that. Oakland, unfortunately, couldn't get the job done versus the Astros. The Astros look like a way better team than Oakland did. They hit better. How do you remove? So for a player like Carlos Correa, how do you take out the quote unquote cheating mechanism and play better than you've ever had in your career? I mean, this guy was like, he had to be their MVP for the series. I think he hit like 3 home runs in that series. I don't know, man. The Astros just look like a different, like a different beast here in the playoffs. They had the losing record, but now, I got to be honest with you. I could see them beating the Rays. In the ALCS.
And we wanted to record this ahead of the division, the CS series, the championship series, but we couldn't because of some scheduling stuff. I was traveling. I was out in Jersey seeing my parents and stuff, but that's none of your business, goddammit. So, but the game one of the ALCS was a close one too. Like it wasn't like the Rays blew out the Houston Astros. It was a possibility that the Astros could have won game one. I think Gurriel grounded out into a double play, and both teams' pitching staffs are just, they keep holding up, man. This Houston Astros pitching staff is, when are we going to see the bottom of this pitching staff? Like everybody they call up ends up doing damage. And then in terms of the Rays, I don't know what to say about that team, man. They're a pesky team. When you see them on paper, you may think, oh, Joey Wendell, big deal. Rosarena, big deal. Goes on, the list goes on and on and on. Kevin Kiermaier, guys like that. But when you see them play, they're relentless, man. They're like, Joey Wendell seems like he's on base every freaking time.
Yeah.
Rosarena has turned into Big Papi during the postseason. The guy's just big hit after big hit after big hit.
Would have had a home run if not for Brett Gardner making a nice play on that to the wall.
It's just I don't know. I'm kind of moving backwards here, looking at the Yankee series.
Yeah,
it was a tough fought series, close game to wrap it up there, and that Rays team is they're tough, man. They're a tough group, and I love the way they use their bullpen. And we've seen the example twice already this postseason. In one end of the spectrum, or not this postseason, I think we talked about Edwin Diaz and how he can't handle the pressure or whatever of the ninth inning, or I can't remember what I said. But then you see the Rays kind of proved my point about how to use the bullpen. Like in Game 5 of the ALDS, they didn't go to Blake Snell after Tyler Glasnow, which is what I thought they were going to do. They went to their best reliever in Nick Anderson. Then they went to their second best reliever after Nick Anderson. Then they, you know what I mean? Like they piled it on. They gave you your best arms whenever they could, and they shut that Yankees lineup down, man. And they
Yeah.
won.
I gotta be honest though. I mean, Nick Anderson is their best option in the bullpen. He is the one that gave up the home run to Aaron Judge. So I feel like, you know, Yankees' best option. I still say I still think Aroldis Chapman is an elite
I do too.
bullpen
I don't
arm.
blame that loss on Chapman at all. I
No.
think it's his fault because he gave up the winning run.
Well,
But at the end of the day, you scored, you know, you had to overcome a 1-run deficit. At the end of the day, it was a 2-1 game, right? Or was it 3-1? I don't remember.
2-1 was the Game 5, yeah.
Right. You had to overcome a 1-run deficit. You're a team that can outscore your opponent at will, it seems like. You can hit a home run whenever. I mean, they had to overcome a lineup that went from DJ LeMahieu, who was the batting champ, to Luke Voit, who was the home run champ, to Aaron Judge, who kept hitting big home runs this postseason. Every time he hit a home run, it was a big home run. To Giancarlo Stanton, who was probably the MVP of the Yankees this postseason.
Definitely.
It goes on and on and on and on. And you didn't overcome a 1-run deficit. At the end of the day, that's a team loss. It's not all on Chapman. As much as Yankees fans want to dump on this guy, he does give up big home runs at the worst times. I admit it. Think Rajay Davis with the Cleveland Indians when he was with the Cubs. Think of Jose Altuve last season. Think of who hit it this year? Brasso, which was fucking poetic for the Rays. If you're the Rays, that's a franchise-defining moment right there.
No, yeah, you know what? And
crazy.
Big shout out to the Rays and big shout out to Brasso, however you say his name, for not making it more like an exaggerated moment than it should have been. He hit the home run. He was pumped, rounded the bases, celebrated with his teammates. Post-game interview, they asked him about, you know, was that a revenge moment for you? And he said, no, that's all in the past. So I think it just proves my point that whole Rays Yankees fake.
Yeah, but then at the same time, Castillo's wearing a shirt with a horse on it that says 98, a stable of guys who throw 98 miles an hour. Wasn't that what Kevin Cash said?
Well, yeah,
so there's clearly they played New York after they beat the Yankees.
Yeah, but I think all of that fits under a division rivalry type of thing, and that stable of guys that throw 98. It reminds me of when Boone said, "My guys are savages in the box."
Yeah,
there was no hatred towards the umpire. It was just a moment caught in history where they took it and ran with it. And being that the Rays bullpen is like their biggest strength, I think it's just something that they're running with. But my point is that they were, I don't know who kept saying all this shit before the series, like, oh, we hate those guys, it's going to stay that way or whatever. That was a moment for him to rub it in Chapman's face, and he didn't, which I kind of liked. I still think it's a fake ass beef that the MLB try to, shove down our throats. But it's just funny how on Twitter you see this home run or nothing team or setup will never work, and yet that's exactly how the Rays beat the Yankees. They only scored, the only 2 runs they scored were via the home run. And I just want to also throw in that Chapman giving up that home run to Brasso, it's more of that he kept throwing him fastballs. Mm-hmm. He had, to me, after him keep fouling off the fastballs, he should have at least gotten off speed. Whether he would have thrown it for a ball and walked the guy, well, fuck it. You live to see the next batter,
right,
and not give up the home run. But that guy was just waiting for the fact. It reminded me of that Rajay Davis moment when he was on the Cubs. Yeah,
it was timing. He had the timing down, and with the velocity of a Aroldis Chapman fastball, you just have to put bat on ball, and that's it. It's over. And by the way, you mentioned about home run or nothing. This postseason, I think we're up to 20. I can't remember how many games where one team out homers another. Well, it's still, because yesterday the Rays and the Astros homered. Altuve hit one and Arozarena hit one.
Yeah.
So I did some crazy research, like the loser that I am, Luis. And I wrote a piece for Call to the Pen. Here it is. I wrote a piece for Call to the Pen that kind of proves that in the postseason, it's home run or nothing. Entering October 9th, I think that was game 5 of the world of ALDS World Series. You hear this?
Yep.
Teams that out-homer their opponent are 21-1 in the postseason. 21-1. And then with the Rays, when Brasso hit that home run against the Yankees in game 5, that was 2 home runs to 1. There was the Aaron Judge home run, and then there was the Brasso home run, and Adames. Was it Adames that hit the other one?
No, it wasn't Adames that hit that home run.
Either way, there were 2 home runs hit that game by the Rays. The record is now 22-1. Teams that out homer their opponents are 22-1. The only exception was the Dodgers versus San Diego. There was the game where I think Hosmer and Machado went back to back, or was it? I can't remember who went back to back with Machado, and they ended up losing that game, even though the Dodgers, even though they out homered the Dodgers. That was the only exception this postseason.
Yeah.
So in reality, it is home run or nothing. Whoever hits the most home runs is going to win the game. Essentially, that's the way it's working out to be. And
Well,
I don't think at this point, 22-1 is not a coincidence, in my opinion.
Well, as much as I don't want to see the Astros make it to the World Series, and I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit giving my prediction over here, but as much as I don't want to see the Astros make it to the World Series, and I know it's Monday, so the first game was yesterday, the Rays won. The Astros left a lot of runners on base in scoring position. And I feel like because the Rays are they struck out the most than any other team in MLB this year, the Rays. And I feel like,
wow.
And I feel like the Rays, quote, fact check me on that one. But I think that if the Rays have become this all home run or nothing team, that will be the reason they lose the ALCS to the Astros.
See, and that's the thing. I don't think it's the team. You're right. The Rays struck out more than any other team. Then it's the Brewers. I thought it would have been the Yankees. The Yankees are actually 24th on the list for strikeouts.
The Yankees, to be fair, and I'm not trying to.
I know what you're gonna say. Judge and Stanton.
Yeah, the fact that they were, because Gary Sanchez struck out a lot this year. There's the most
God.
at a higher rate than he's ever struck out, and Judge and Stanton strike out at that same exact rate. So you have to think, if you extrapolate, like that word, extrapolate.
Great word.
The numbers, I think they would have been in the top 15 maybe with strikeouts. Great but word. Yeah, I like to use words.
I'm with you. But here's the thing: is that as much as that stat is undeniable, it's hard to predict who's going to win the game, because the point of me writing that piece was to try to predict who was going to win Game 5 of the ALDS, and I couldn't come up with a prediction, because if I look at a lineup, the team with the most home run potential is clearly the Yankees, right? Like you have Giancarlo Stanton hit like 6 home runs in 5 consecutive games or something like that, or 6 home runs over 5 games or some shit. You had, again, Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs this postseason, even though I don't think he had a hit that was a single or anything like that. I think all his hits were home runs.
Yeah,
but it's the guy who comes out of nowhere. Like Arozarena is a respected player and everything, but nobody thought he was going to turn into the type of player he turned into this postseason. Again, like he's Papi Ortiz right now. He's fucking, Derek Jeter, like timely hits. Like he's when you need him most, he's coming up to the plate and hitting bombs. Kevin Kiermaier hit a home run. You know what I mean? Kevin fucking Kiermaier. How many home runs did he hit like this year? Probably 2 during the regular season. I don't know. The guy's not a home run hitter. He's not a hitter at all.
But see, that's how I feel when I see Gio Urshela hit a grand slam, like to in the Indian series. Like that's how the world feels. Like when every time I'm like, God, where are these guys coming from? Like and shit.
Yeah.
So Kevin Kiermaier, 3-run bomb.
I guess it's undeniable. If you're watching a game and you're seeing one team out homer the other, then you can say, okay, that team's probably going to win. But in terms of predictions, I think it's impossible to make predictions, because that's the beautiful thing about the postseason, is that the unlikeliest of players step up and they do things. Kevin Kiermaier, by the way, had, why is this highlighted? Is that postseason? Postseason. He had 3 home runs this season. The most he's ever hit in a regular season is 15 in 2017. Anyway, but in terms of power potential of the teams remaining, I think who would you say has the best power? But the Braves.
The Braves
with Osuna, Freeman, Acuna,
Duvall.
But then again, they're facing the Dodgers, the team that bucks the trend, the only team who has managed to win without out homering their opponents. We're going all over the place here, man.
We are. I don't know who. I would assume that the Dodgers will take the series just for being the most complete team in the playoffs, but the Braves easily handle the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Marlins even won a game in that series.
The Braves also have the best ERA in baseball in the postseason, and that was my fear for the Braves, was that their pitching staff was in shambles, and they're dominating on the pitching end of things. So if that
And again,
continues,
are they the best? Do they have the best stats pitching wise? Because the Reds just choked away, forgot how to hit in those
maybe
2 games or whatever it was, not scoring a run in like 20 something innings. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the Braves got it done, and they took care of business against good pitching with the Miami Marlins, and then their pitching got it done against that lineup. I don't see the Dodgers losing that series, so I'll make my decision when we do our predictions. I'll just make my final decision.
All right. So why don't we jump to that now? Let's make our predictions now, because I have to win out just to tie it. Like, I have to go. There's 3 series remaining, 2 championship series and a World Series, and I'm 3 games behind you. So the only way that this is going to end is either you're going to win or we're going to tie it. So I kind of have to go against you across the board, despite what my picks really are.
Okay.
So we're going to let you pick first. All right. Rays, Houston. Who do you pick?
Okay, so here's why I'm picking Houston.
Oh, mama.
Here's why I'm going to pick Houston.
Oh, mama.
I think that even though it's fabricated by their own choices, because they're the ones that got caught cheating because they were cheating, they're playing with some chip on their shoulder where they want to just take over the league again, get the respect that they think they deserve. Carlos Correa is hitting very good in the postseason. Jose Altuve led off the game yesterday with a home run. I think in game 4 or 5 of that ALDS series that they had, he came through with the go-ahead RBI. I probably just made that up, pulled that out of my ass. I don't know, but
we'll take it.
I know I saw him come up with a clutch hit in which 2 runs scored and padded the lead, or either took the lead in that series against the A's. The fact that Greinke hasn't pitched well and they're in the ALCS, I think is a good sign, because I think eventually Greinke, by the way, Greinke might be sabotaging the Astros on purpose. Did you ever?
Sabotaging the Astros on purpose.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a different segment.
Okay. I like where this is going, man.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm going to pick the Astros is because yesterday the Rays scored 2 runs. And again, I know the Astros messed up by leaving a lot of runners in scoring position. And I don't want the Astros to advance to the World Series. I think it should be the Rays. But I'm choosing the Astros because they have, hitting wise, have taken care of business prior to yesterday's game. The Rays only scored 2 runs yesterday. They only scored 2 runs, again, via the home run the game before against the Yankees. The game before that, they only scored 1 run against the Yankees. So this lineup doesn't really convince me. I think it does come down to the home run for the Rays. And I think that the Astros can steal one from Glasnow or a bullpen day game from the Rays. So I'm choosing the Astros. I know it's a 7-game series. It's a long shot, but I'm going to choose the Astros.
I mean, by the way, Tampa Bay Rays, Brandon Lau, the best hitter, could be considered for MVP of the American League, is absent in the postseason. He hasn't done a thing. So you could see where you're coming from there. At the same time, the Astros, despite all the allegations of cheating, their lineup still features Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, Michael Brantley, Gurriel.
Yep.
The list goes on and on and on and on. That's an elite lineup. I don't care what anybody says. And their pitching, you have guys like Framber Valdez. You gotta love Dominican names, by the way, man.
The guy looks like he's way older than he is. I know where that comes from, man. We're used to it. But yeah, he reminds me of the way that he was pitching, reminded me of Bartolo Colon, man. Just all movement speeds. doesn't throw past like 90. What was it? Like 94.
He's
Very
26 years old,
very chubby
allegedly.
figure.
But real quick, as two Dominicans who host the show, Framber Valdez, I would love to speak to this guy someday because I'm pretty sure, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that Framber is a combination of his mother and his father's names.
That I could see it.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe his mother's name is Francesca and the dad's name is like
Wilbur.
Wilbur.
What's there's a combination of William and
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Hubert or something. I don't know.
So
Hubert.
It was a gay marriage. Okay.
All right. But yeah, you have guys like that. Urquidi of Mexico, I believe, represent. Looks like some of my uncles that I've shared a drink with or two in my life. But we're not passing judgments here. I'm just trying to make a point here. The Astros have a really good team, so I could see that happening. But I'm picking the Rays out of necessity because I have to win and because I believe in the Rays and they defeated the Yankees. And I know that I'm not supposed to be showing my bias anymore, but I'm biased, man. And I want to know that I lost for a reason. I want to know that the Yankees lost for a reason.
I know where you're coming from that. Usually if the Red Sox are in the playoffs, the team they lose to is the team I would expect to win it all. So I could be like, you know what?
Win it all.
Yeah. So just real quick, the Rays have out homered the Astros in the postseason by 1 home run. So the Rays have 15 home runs in the postseason. Astros have 14. The Astros have 68 total hits compared to the Tampa Bay Rays 55 hits. The Astros have scored 41 runs compared to the 34 runs from Tampa. And Tampa has played one more game because I think Houston series only went to 4 games, and obviously the Tampa Bay Rays played the 5th game against the Yankees.
They're really evenly matched because ERA wise too, the Rays edge the Astros 330 to 363. That's not a big difference. Whip Rays 1.27, Astros 1.19. So edge, wait, that's not true. 1.21. So 1.27 versus 1.21. Again, not that big of a difference. Opponents batting average 233 for the Rays versus 221 for the Astros. Home runs given up. Rays have given up 13 home runs. Guess how many home runs the Astros have given up?
5.
13 home runs.
Ouch.
Identical. So 13 to 13. Literally, their numbers are virtually identical. So
I'm so stupid because I think the Astros gave up 5 home runs to the one game that Oakland won. In that one game, I think they gave
4.
up yeah.
There was 5. You're right. Exactly 5. It was you're right. You're right.
I think yeah. So geez, man.
Good job, man. So yeah, they're really evenly matched. This is anybody's game here, but I feel good about my pick. I picked the Rays.
All right.
I think that game 2 tonight, I don't know when this is dropping, tonight or yesterday, whenever you're listening to this. For me, game 2 is the most important game in any series because you're either going to take a really big lead against your opponent. You're either going to be 2-0 or you're going to even the series and your opponent's going to be back in it. I feel like this game is super important, and I hope that the Rays win so I could feel better about my pick. All right.
Okay.
Next one, Dodgers, Braves. Please, God.
Man.
Is it nice to sit here being the one who gets to decide?
You know, I can't see the Dodgers losing this series. I think the Dodgers were the favorite team to win it all this year, going into the playoffs, obviously, after they got Mookie, actually since the beginning of the year. And I think as good as Braves pitching has been, something's got to give eventually, man. Like we didn't expect their pitching to be this dominant. I think that has to come back down to earth eventually. I know Freddie Freeman had statistically probably the best season. Ronald Acuna had a great season. Marcell Ozuna had a B season. So I think they can go bat for bat versus the Dodgers lineup. But just the fact that Mookie is in the Dodgers, I feel like he is that difference maker. Like he's that one little, not the one little, but he's the big reason that makes that team from like,
Yeah.
just a playoff team to World Series champions. It's a tough one, man. I really don't know which one I'm going to choose here.
And by the way, maybe this will help you decide, but again, identical numbers aside from ERA, the Braves have a 0.92 ERA. Again, you could say that that's because of the Red series. The Dodgers have a 2 ERA. WHIP, Braves 0.80, Dodgers 0.96. Batting average against, Braves 1.69, Dodgers 1.78. These are pitching numbers here. In my opinion, very identical. Home runs given up, the Braves have given up 1 home run. The Dodgers have given up 3 home runs. They're literally 1 and 2 in pitching in baseball. So, and they've swept both of their series. So they haven't played many games. So not that much of a sample size, but maybe that'll help you decide. I don't know. Who knows?
Ah, man, I'm gonna go with the Dodgers. I know the Braves look good, but I'm going with the Dodgers, man. I think they're deeper. Again, Mookie is the final decision-making factor there. Mookie has done well in the playoffs. Gonna go down as one of the greatest players of all time. I'm picking the Dodgers, man. And the fact that they beat the Padres, who I felt like were the tougher. I know Marlins. I know the Dodgers. I mean, I know the Padres got screwed over because of Clevenger and Lamet not being available. But still, they weren't an easy team to beat. And I know the Marlins had good talent in their roster, but I thought they were a little bit like overrated for where they are at now as a franchise. So I thought the Padres were the tougher opponent for the Dodgers than the Marlins would have been. I'm picking the Dodgers, man.
And I don't have a choice. I'm picking the Braves.
Wait, so you're just waiting? You were just gonna pick opposite no matter what?
I have to. I can't tie with like the only way this is gonna end up, I have to win out. I have to go 3-0 and you have to go 0-3 for me to tie it, just to tie it, not even to win it.
Okay.
And then we have to, do an arm wrestling. Just kidding. But I don't feel so unconfident about my pick because
not at all.
Because again, that lineup can overcome Kershaw. Maybe Kershaw isn't a postseason pitcher. I don't know. I don't believe that personally, but maybe he's not. Maybe Walker Buehler's blister acts up again and he can't pitch as much in the postseason. I don't hope that happens, but maybe it will. Maybe I could win, which is important to me. So yeah, I don't have a choice. I picked the Braves, man.
Please let me be wrong about the Astros, man.
So this could either end up being what would be the ideal pick? It has to be Dodgers Houston, a rematch of 2017 in the World Series, right? That would be the ideal World Series matchup, don't you think?
For ratings, yeah.
For ratings and for entertainment value,
yeah.
People want to have an opponent to hate, and let's be honest, people hate the Astros.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers lost to the Astros in 2017 when they were accused of cheating. That would be the perfect matchup.
That'd be the storybook ending, yeah, for that series to happen and the Dodgers to finally get their World Series after, I don't know, like 40 years, however long it's been.
But if that happens, you win. So let's go Rays Braves, baby.
Rays Braves. That would be the most random
right
World Series in recent memory for me, I think. Well, I think the most random World Series was Mets and Royals.
What was 05 when the White Sox won? Was it like White Sox Cardinals or something?
Oh man, I'm not sure.
Or when the Mets Royals, yeah. That was
2015.
15. Let me see. I gotta see this real quick. 2005 World Series matchup. It was White Sox Astros.
Wow.
Pretty
when random. The Astros were a National League team.
That's right.
For all you baseball historians.
Let's go. I think was Roger Clemens on that team? He might have been on that team.
I'm not sure.